Martin Scorsese began filming Killers of the Flower Moon in Oklahoma on April 19, 2021. Now, almost 2.5 years later, the film is being released worldwide this week. Joel Filomeno has more on the early reaction to the most expensive movie ever made in Oklahoma. Joel.
Taylor, film audiences this weekend take a trip back in time to the 1920s to witness a highly anticipated film that illustrates the reign of terror over the Osage Nation. The film and story are based on a 2017 nonfiction book of the same name.
You know, it was less than a century ago then, and it's barely a century old now.
Author David Grann was invited to speak at Oklahoma Christian University this week. He's in Oklahoma to promote his 2017 nonfiction novel, Killers of the Flower Moon, and to discuss Martin Scorsese's film adaptation opening in theaters on October 20th.
A film and a book are always two different things, and they should be. They are different mediums, but I think they complement each other really well, and they both, I think, arrive at the same deeper truths.
Joining Grann on the discussion panel was Principal Chief of the Osage Nation, Chief Standing Bear.
None of us would be here without David Grann. That is a fact. He's really changed the world.
David Grann and Chief Standing Bear worked closely with Scorsese to bring this dark chapter of Oklahoma history to the screens.
First, I'd like them to feel that they've been immersed in a world that reflects who we are and the world we are today.
The Oscar-winning director shot most of his highly anticipated film in Pawhuska, Fairfax, Bartlesville, and Tulsa.
I really hope that by experiencing the film, that's why the length of the film is that way, and putting yourself into these characters, by experiencing it stays with you.
The film's plot centers around the murdering of Osage tribe members in northeastern Oklahoma during the early 1900s.
The way it was at least portrayed outside the Osage Nation was that this was about the singular evil figure who committed these crimes with a couple of henchmen. And it was speaking to so many Osage, including Chief Standing Bear and so many others, who began to reveal to me that there were these other killings in their family that had never been investigated.
In the early 1900s, the Osage Nation discovered black gold on reservation land. Sinister forces outside of the tribe plotted to claim millions of dollars generated by the oil revenue.
Remember, it was the whole purpose of the 1900, that time period, right before statehood, was to eliminate the tribal communal systems, the nations, to eliminate them, to break them up.
Grann commends the efforts by Martin Scorsese to reach out to the Osage Nation during pre-production.
I got a front row seat to watching how he steered the project and made sure that cooperation took place. And I think the film you see is as much a result of that and of the Osage involvement. And I think it's because of that that the film does have an authenticity and an emotional power.
Killers of the Flower Moon is expected to have 3,500 movie screenings across the country during its premiere weekend.
Welcome, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Enjoy the show.
A private audience enjoyed a sneak preview at the Circle Cinema Theater in Tulsa on Wednesday.
We've already, selling out a lot of the shows. There's just tremendous public interest in it.
Ryan Thomas, social media manager for Circle Cinema, says the film delivers a powerful message.
This is not just an entertainment story. There were real lives lost here, real harm done, and just keep that in mind while you're watching. That this is the story of the Osage people, and it's finally being told.
Thomas expects many people will learn about the Osage murders for the first time.
It's a shame that it's taken so many years to really shine a light on these stories, the Osage murders, the Tulsa Race Massacre. They should have been known in public stories much sooner as they were happening to really honor the lives lost there and the harm that was done.
Citizens of the tribe suffer from generational trauma.
Governor of the Chickasaw Nation, Bill Anatubby, says the story of the Osage murders should never be forgotten.
I believe that students, people, the population need to know these stories. This particular one about the Osage is so compelling.
Anatubby encourages everyone to read David Grann's best-selling book.
We can't let this happen anymore. Not just to us, but to anyone.
Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Edward Gray noted the FBI had limited resources in its early days.
In 1923, The Bureau, remember, was, not even 20 years old and does not have the resources that we have today, and was very limited just across the country.
Chief Standing Bear says the issue of head rights to land remains a contentious issue.
What about the heirs of those people that those head rights were removed from? What rights do they have? So, or are you going to give it to our Minerals Council or our legislature and to our Treasury? There are so many issues.
And kill these men who killed my family.
Gran says the relationship between the two main characters in the film, portrayed by Leonardo DiCaprio and Lily Gladstone, represents the collective treatment of Osage people in the early 1900s.
I think in doing that kind of character study and exploring and exhuming that relationship is able to illuminate a lot of the larger crimes that took place, and the sins and the greed and the betrayal.
There's just bad luck. Seems more like an epidemic than bad luck to me.
You just suddenly see these people who you've kind of imagined through these records, suddenly inhabited by actors, come to life, and the stage and the sets recreated. It is a bit surreal, but they did it so well, they did it with such authenticity and such truth.
I ain't got nothing but regret.
The Oklahoma History Center is also commemorating Killers of the Flower Moon with a special exhibit in its One OK Corporation Gallery. The exhibit will be on display through March 1st, 2024.